This is a short video to show how to wind a bobbin on the Cowboy CB-4500 without sewing. There are two steps you need to take to be able to do this. The first is to get this spindle to turn freely when you're not sewing. And the second is to find a tool that you can spin this with while the bobbin is on here. So let's work on step one. What you need to do is to take out these 4 screws and remove this unit and flip it over. Okay, so now that the screws are out, I can remove this, flip it over, and you can see this brake against the spindle wheel. What you need to do is just loosen the screw and turn this rubber cylinder around so that the thick side is away from the spindle wheel. Okay, I've loosened the screw, so now I'm going to turn this spindle so it's away from the drive wheel and tighten it. Okay, I've tightened that brake so this spindle, the spool spindle, turns freely. Now I'm going to put this back up and I'm going to test the spindle to see if it spins freely. Doing this one-handed here. If it doesn't spin freely, what you can do to fix that is take a Sharpie marker and mark both sides of the shaft where this spool spindle drive wheel is, so that you can always get this wheel back to the position it came from the factory. And then take an Allen wrench and loosen these 2 set screws and slide this drive wheel like a 1/16 of an inch to the left and tighten them back up. So now I've got this whole bobbin winder assembly screwed back on and the spindle spins freely. So the next thing I'm going to do is thread the machine ready to wind a bobbin. Now I've got the machine threaded for winding a bobbin, and I've pushed the bobbin on the spindle, but I want to get the pin in the bobbin winder in the pin of the bobbin, and to hold it still, because the brake has been disconnected in the back, what I can do now is hold this paddle down, and that will put the brake on the spindle, and then I can turn the bobbin to get the hole lined up. I don't have anybody to hold my camera, so I'm just going to do it and then be back. Okay, the hole's lined up and I can let go of the the paddle. So now part 2 is, now we need to come up with something that can turn this at bobbin winding speed. The obvious answer is a drill, but we don't want to be marking things up. Put a rubber grommet that fits over the spindle right there, and then I chose a hex socket that fit right over the grommet, and the grommet actually is thick enough that this hex driver doesn't actually touch any metal, so it's a pure rubber self-centering contact here, and you can wind in either direction. Okay, so now I've got a bobbin on and ready to go. So okay, so there we've got a bobbin nicely wound. Probably looks like I put a few too many wraps on, but it works great. And of course I want to show you, you can always put a bobbin on, lower this arm, and wind a bobbin while you're sewing, whenever you want to do that still. So anyway, hope that helps. Thank you.